From the campus of Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey, Channel 5 Sports presents Collegiate Soccer. Tonight, it's the 2005 Rowan Invitational Championship game. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Marc Narducci. We couldn't have a more beautiful night for soccer. About 70 degrees, overcast, windy, and all in all, should be a great game to boot. But, you know, each year they host this invitational tournament. Year after year, it seems that Rowan dominates.
Well, absolutely. And of course, Rowan this year, Rob, got to go to a trip to Costa Rica, so got to really get, even though they didn't do well on the scoreboard, really got to get in shape and everything. So coming in here, a little banged up, but still in a very good frame of mind. I mean, this is a Rowan team that had been to the NCAA tournament 15 straight years. Didn't go last year after losing to Stockton in the NJAC final, and they want to return, and they certainly have the talent to get there.
Well, they're going to play an Ithaca team that's always very talented. And a little sub-note here is that the coach of Ithaca was the roommate of head coach Dan Gilmore of Rowan.
Yeah, Andy Byrne and Dan Gilmore, and they both said each other were great players and everything. They've played each other a number of times in the past. Last year, Ithaca beat Rowan 2-1. But Rob, this is a very young Ithaca team. Graduated a lot of seniors last year.
Well, let's talk about that Ithaca lineup. Again, very talented. Of course, won the semifinal round of this Rowan Invitational. And they look to go to their score in Mark Jeffries. Jeffries, one shot and a goal last night.
Yeah, and last year he had 4 goals and 2 assists. He was a second-team all-conference player, and he's a guy, especially with so many of the seniors graduating, and they have another one, Glenn Padilla, who they expected to play and was an all-region player. He's out with a knee injury, so they're really expecting Jeffries to pick up that offensive slack.
Well, we go over to the Rowan lineup, and we take a look at so many talented players. Tonight we'll look at one locally, Rich Dominiak out of Lenape Regional High School. He's someone who's very talented in the back of the field, but Rowan's not afraid to push him up to the front and maybe deposit the goal in the back of the net.
No, absolutely, Rob. He's an all-conference performer. I saw him last night. He scored a tremendous goal here in the 7-1 victory. And the thing about Dominiak is he's very, very composed. He takes his time, but he always seems to be in the right position, and that's the kind of guy you want back there. It's sweeper, kind of quarterback in the defense. He's a guy they depend an awful lot from.
Well, this Ithaca team, as Mark mentioned, very young, so scoring first will be critical for them. We'll have a look at that right after this. Welcome back to Rowan University. There you see Dan Gilmore, the head coach of the Rowan University Profs. Dan Gilmore's been through quite a few years here at Rowan University, all the way back when it was Glassboro State College, so far back that even Marc Narducci was playing soccer here.
How about this record? 472, 110, and 40. That's not a bad record that Dan has done. 24 NCAA tournament appearances. Of course, the 2 national championships in the program's history in 81 and 90. So just a great legacy of soccer here at Rowan. And Rob, as we get into the game, I want to talk about Division III. And Rowan should have been in the Division III tournament last year, but we'll get to that a little later.
Gilmore involved with Rowan soccer now for 51 years. This is his 30th year, or excuse me, with soccer 51 years, 30th year here at Rowan as the head coach. And Gilmore talking with us about that disappointment about not making the tournament last season. Rowan taking on this Ithaca Bombers team, a team that defeated Rowan last season. There you see the forwards, Goldsworthy, Way, and McMullen. McMullen scored last evening. Manach, Lodge, Martinelli, who is arguably the top player on this Rowan team. And in the back, Johnson, Dominiak, who we discussed, Hall, and Deutsch. And finally, Anthony Clemente, an outstanding athlete and a great goalkeeper, one that continues to get better.
Rob, last night, even though Rowan won 7-1 over Delaware Valley actually led the game 1-0. And from what I saw was they had a little bit of success when they went to the flanks, went out, because they have pretty good team speed out there. It'll be interesting to see how Ithaca decides to attack Rowan. I'll tell you, when you see Dominiak in the back there, they like to pass back a lot, and he's a guy that they really depend on, and he'll pick his spots when he makes his runs for this team. He won't always do it, but when he does, it's usually successful. There's a dangerous play right there, so it'll be an indirect coming the other way for Ithaca.
Ithaca, the Bombers in the navy blue, Rowan in the gold and white home jerseys. Now, Mark, you had mentioned before off camera that this technically is not a tournament per se, that these two games were set up prior to play, that Ithaca and Rowan just coincidentally won their first games last evening against Delaware Valley College and St. Joseph's. Sliding tackle here, and Ithaca having trouble clearing their own end. Setting up the shot left-footed and knocked down and saved by Ithaca. Good opportunity here from Rowan trying to capitalize on the turnover, and Ithaca's Alex Woodworth could not knock it in.
That was Michael Lodge of Rowan, a guy who played his soccer in South Jersey at West Hampton Tech, number 8, getting a nice shot on goal that time for the Profs. Yeah, because Rowan's going to be playing St. Joe's College, one of the teams in this tournament later in the regular season, so they did set it up where Rowan would not be playing St. Joe's College in this tournament, but by far, Rob, the top 2 teams are playing here right now.
Michael Lodge, you mentioned before, I misspoke, with the opportunity on the doorstep out of Willingboro, New Jersey. Played at West Hampton Tech.
See, Dominiak went outside that time to Deutsch, and he wasn't quite expecting it. You really have to always be awake when Dominiak has the ball, because he loves to spread the field. He'll pass to anybody. And I noticed last night a lot, Rowan does a lot of passing among its defenders.
Dominiak with good size, listed at 6 feet.
Now that's a nice play there by number 19, Mike Hall, for Rowan. He's one of the outside backs and going to be a very key defender for this team.
And Ithaca now trying to control the midfield, trying to settle. And Coach Gilmore mentioned that it may be a little bit ugly soccer for the first 15 minutes or so.
That was almost a nice break by Ryan Cole, number 14 for Ithaca. Almost was able to make that through pass.
Hall tries to feed. Finds a man in the middle. That is McMullen. McMullen feeds back. There's Hall, and it's taken away by the Bombers. Dominiak, a little flick, and back to Dominiak to settle.
See, he loves to spread it out. Rowan already putting the ball in the air a lot more than we saw last night. They had a much better possession game last night. Now, obviously, Ithaca, a tougher team to do that against.
Du Bois feeds it to the middle. Bicycle kick is missed, knocked out, and it will be Rowan possession.
And Sean Nye almost was able to get there, number 21 for Ithaca that time. And Rowan again has to watch those forwards coming through. Ithaca using a 4-man front, which you don't see a whole lot.
We mentioned last night Rowan defeating Delaware Valley 7-1, 7 different goal scorers for the Profs. Sent out by Clemente to the middle. Nobody there but Bombers. And it's taken away by Ryan Cole. Sent back, and Ithaca will look to distribute.
That was Jeffries that time, 17. Instead of going forward again, showed a lot of poise with the ball. There he is trying to get by 2 people.
Jeffries pushed off the ball. Nothing doing. Here comes Dominiak and the Profs. Dominiak out of the back. Looking for the home run ball. Has a man. Finds the man. That's Goldsworthy. Shot on. And misses on the short side. So Goldsworthy with a good run out of Hackettstown, New Jersey. Played his high school soccer at Westmoreland Central, one of the powers in the state of New Jersey.
That was a great feed, though, by Dominiak. Again, you see his vision, Rob. He's always looking. Won't always look for the long ball unless he has it, and that time he did. And give Dave Corvey, the keeper, a little bit of credit. I did a good job getting the angle on that play.
Ball sent out by Ithaca. A little flick to go forward. Jeffries tries to settle and turn. Jeffries on the ball, tripped up, and whistle blows. Possession to Rowan.
Wow, they're calling it. Jeffries pushed Brian Deutsch. One thing Deutsch or anybody on that side is going to realize, you don't want Jeffries to get the ball. You've got to come out and meet it before he can get it, because he's just very, very dangerous. I think they have to do a better job of preventing him in the open field of getting it. There's Martinelli, number 27, who you talked about, Rob, for Rowan, and not 100%. He banged up his knee last night, and we'll see how he moves out here. He's certainly hasn't overexerted himself here in the early going, and we'll just see how he goes because he's a tremendously skilled player and has one of the hardest shots that you'll ever see.
Coach Gilmore could not say enough good things about Martinelli. Prior to the game, Martinelli, NJAC Rookie of the Year, his sophomore year Defensive Player of the Year, junior year Offensive Player of the Year. Says he could be the most decorated player in NJAC history.
This is a dangerous situation. Mark Du Bois with the end swinger in here on the corner kick for Ithaca.
Ithaca will go line up outside that far post. Du Bois sends it towards the middle, headed out, looking to settle. Here comes Rowan, and it's led by McMullen. McMullen feeds to the wing. And coming down, it's Menach. Pushed off the ball, and Ithaca will take over possession.
That's an excellent defensive play by number 19, Steve Bell. Menach had a step on him, but he never let him get position, and he just kept on it. That's an excellent piece of work by Bell that time.
To the wing. Looking to settle. Rowan. Flick.
Rowan's got his space better. There are too many white shirts in that one little area there. They've got to do a little better job of spacing.
Ithaca had a good opportunity there, and Du Bois just really rushed it and gave it away. So here comes Dominiak and the Profs out of the back across the midfield. A nice little through ball there by Martinelli to feed to the wing. To the middle. The feed. And now back to Dominiak. Again, we talked about Dominiak in the open. They use him in a variety of roles, really as the quarterback from the back.
Dominiak and Martinelli have a great skill that they can one-touch pass it very accurately anywhere on the field. And when you have people and defenders pursuing you so quickly, that is very, very important. And both of them pinpoint accuracy.
Edge of the box. Clemente will watch it and handle it. They'll pick it up and distribute. If you're wondering about this Ithaca team, do they have any local players? The answer is no. They have 4 players from the state of New Jersey, none of which are here in southern New Jersey.
Yeah, that's a good call that time. Rowan's number 7, Doug Johnson, who played at Shawnee High School, wrapped his arm around and was called on the push.
18, hold it.
36 minutes remain in the first half. Rowan and Ithaca, the Bombers of Ithaca. Ithaca has had success in a variety of sports, always a very good Division III baseball team.
12-3-2 last year in soccer, as we mentioned, a 2-1 win over Rowan in the regular season.
Nice little flick, and Clemente aggressively comes up and takes it away. Now Clemente, again, a 3-year starter here, and someone who's very, very good in the box. And that's what you need from your goalkeeper.
Oh, that's a great shield that time by Martinelli, and then to be able to put it out to the flank. That's a tremendous ball.
Still there, yes.
Battle ensues, and a handball, nothing called, knocked out to the side. I believe we'll have a throw-in.
Set it up, let's go.
And now it's going to be rolled a corner kick. Menach will take the corner.
And Rowan is very, very good on the air. Oh. Go hit the... That time, you see, you wanted him to go far post. He went near post that time.
So each team with a corner, nothing doing. And Corvey, the keeper, out of Mentor, Ohio. He's a junior. Will serve it.
It's a pretty deep 6 kick, isn't it?
I think so.
Now, again, they've got to get this ball on the ground, both teams. See, they can't play this way. They've got to start settling it. Nothing's on the ground. And Dan Gilmore said he expected the first 15 minutes to be a little bit of ragged soccer, and I think he's been proven correctly at this point. Neither team really been able to settle for long stretches and get in any kind of a groove. Keep in mind, Rob, that Rowan is very banged up. Dwayne Reevy, one of its best players, missed last night's game. They hope to get him a little bit of action off the bench. He's a guy that Coach Gilmore thinks is one of the real keys to this team and played very well in Costa Rica when they played the 4-game schedule there.
Clemente handles it easily. Clemente, an outstanding athlete. One of 3. That's right, he's a triplet. And in fact, his brother's heavily recruited here at Rowan University by head coach Dan Gilmore. They currently starters on the Lehigh University soccer team, a Division I school. So that gives you some indication of the gene pool of that family. Here's Dominiak.
That's a great job again that time by Martinelli, switching fields when he felt the defense come to him when he got it to Dominiak.
Manach towards the middle, headed away by Ithaca. Good opportunity, flicked out, and Manach now.
Still there and out. Yeah, it's off him.
And
it's off him.
Dubois tries to save it.
Rob, what happened that time was you called it. Chris Holden, number 15 of Ithaca, tried to flick it out. Again, his teammates have to talk to him. He had enough time to trap that and get it out there. He tried to one-touch it out of there and missed the ball. Now Ithaca was fortunate now to still get the goal kick, but mistakes like that deep in can cost you, especially against an opportunistic team such as Rowan. That's the other thing. You get a guy like McMullen. He's a real sniper, and he's a guy that, you may not call his number for 10 or 15 minutes, and then, boom, he can really hurt you. That's a great trap by Manach. Wasn't it good control and a nice little switch of the fields by him?
Right out of the scrum. Feeds, and now here comes Rowan on the attack. Do we have an offsides? Yes. Well, you had just mentioned McMullen, and on cue, a good run, but just offsides as he was isolated against the goalkeeper, Corvey. Just a step too early. And nice little play, back foot. Feed, McMullen. McMullen tries to cut inside, looks. Dubois deflects, and Corvey handles.
Wow, how about Manach with that pass with the heel pass that time to McMullen? Pretty fancy.
Very fancy. Again, out to the wing and hustling onto it will be Jeffries, but just not in time. Jeffries has been not much of a factor at this point, in large part due to the offense of Rowan.
Jeffries had a couple good touches in the first few minutes, and you're right, since then has been kind of silent. He's another one, though. He can explode on you.
Headed up, coming down, Manach settles, works against Dubois, feeds back to his teammate. That's Martinelli. Martinelli distributes.
I'm not a big proponent of the keeper just kicking the ball because you just don't know who it goes to, but you have to, again, give Corvey, the keeper for Ithaca, some credit. He's got some foot.
And now on the attack, Ithaca looks to feed, and just an ugly pass there. Just too strong. Clemente handles easily, as it was Odenbach looking for the ball, but not a very good pass.
Well, what happened was Ryan Cole had the ball, and he passed it to Odenbach, who was double-teamed. You don't want to do a situation like that. They didn't have very good numbers. Sometimes you have to take it and push it back and just wait till you get some people in the zone.
The pass itself was also chest high on the run, not an easy ball to handle. Coming on, and there you see some of the work of McMullen. From the back, Martinelli looks to the wing, trying to feed Manach. Manach illustrating some speed here, and a nice little play there by Ithaca's Shigeru Eo. And now here comes Rowan. Stolen away by the Bombers. To the middle, looking to shield and turn is Cole. Cole finds Dubois, and Dubois will work it down the wing. And a good run here for Odenbach. Odenbach has it shielded away, and some physical play is allowed. That is Doug Johnson, who now has it. Ill-advised pass. Here comes Ithaca to the middle. Ithaca. Shot on left foot, blocked by Dominiak, and he'll punt it away. And the whistle blows This will go Rowan's way.
Yeah, Kyle Carassi, number 3 for Ithaca, just didn't even go for the ball that time. Very good call. Again, Dominiak's looking long. I would go a little shorter sometimes. I think they're trying to look for that long ball a little too much here in the early going.
There's McMullen shielding Du Bois.
Saying that was a very good pass.
To the middle. Ithaca flicks up over the back. No call. And offsides. That's one of those calls in the midfield, probably goes Rowan's way, but not in the box.
Did you see the pass that time by Martinelli? It was almost like a sidewinding bicycle kick that time that was right on goal. He'll make as many spectacular plays as you'll see in the Division III level, number 27 for Rowan.
Martinelli out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. You don't see a lot of players here at Rowan out of Lancaster, but obviously a great get for head coach Dan Gilmore, as he really is the leader of this team. Going to the middle now. And Martinelli looks to feed. A nice little defensive play there as Brian Lockhart did a tremendous job to just head it to the side. And here comes Ithaca.
Rob, I think both teams are trying to go for that home run pass in the air. I thought Rowan, and again, I understand that Ithaca's a much better opponent than Delaware Valley last night, but Rowan was able to go really exclusively on the ground, and I believe that's just a better way to go. See, they go for another long ball there that time.
But, you know, this is something I think is indicative oftentimes of what we see during the high school season. And, again, as you mentioned, collegiately, you anticipate crisper passing, but we have to give them some leeway here as it's just the second game of the season.
Not a bad job that time by number 19, Steve Bell. He got it back to his keeper, just didn't see anything, and he didn't want to force a pass, and we've seen so many forced passes here in the early going.
Well, what we've seen already here early is that Doug Johnson, not afraid to be physical. The junior out of Shawnee High School, shielding and using every ounce that he has, listed at 5'11", 180. At 5'11", may be generous.
And that was on Ryan Cole. Ryan Cole is very, from what you see of him right away is how physical he is, but also how technically sound he is too. Number 14 for Ithaca, very, very strong player.
Again, Rowan out of the back. They've really held the ball.
Yeah, see, that was a lazy pass that time by Martinelli, and then to make up for that, he goes in feet first. He's called for the foul. He's actually getting warned a little bit. You go in both feet like that, Rob, you know, there are some officials that would give you a caution for that.
Martinelli listed at 6'1", 180.
One guy I thought that gave them a spark last night was Ryan Garrison from Cumberland High School. I expect to see him come in pretty soon. He really, really played well last night.
That's a pretty good program. Nobody home for that pass. We've seen a lot of good soccer coming out of that Cumberland High School in many a tri-county battle. Dominiak from the back.
Yeah, since Cumberland came over to the Tri-Co about 5-6 years ago from the Cape Atlantic, you're right, has been really one of the main programs in that Tri-County Royal Division.
And again, very sloppy thus far. 24.5 minutes left in this first half. No score between the Bombers of Ithaca and the Profs of Rowan.
See, there were a couple of early offsides calls, and I think the Rowan forwards are actually really cognizant of that and really waiting that extra time. And
I think this is a big game for Rowan in many ways. Obviously, you always want to win at home. And when it's your invitational, of course, you want to take it. But perhaps as importantly, they're going to go on the road. They're going to play at New York University, and then they're going to go play up in Fredonia, New York against Mount Union College and SUNY Fredonia. and they won't be back at home again until the 17th of September. So roughly 2 weeks, and that's against New Jersey City University. So,
and that, of course, is the beginning of the real season. The NJAC season starts then, and
then the second game, Jersey City University, typically not a very good team, but Mark, right after that they play Rutgers Camden. Rutgers Camden last night defeated, or Friday night it was, Thursday night, defeated Elizabethtown College, who was ranked 22nd in the nation. So, you know, in the preseason poll, it was Stockton, then Rowan, then Montclair, and then Rutgers Camden. But do not count out that Rutgers Camden team. Ball knocked out to the side. The Rutgers Camden team had a tremendous season last year. Again, of course, in the championship game, it was Stockton defeating Rowan. And as we mentioned before, Rowan not making the NCAA tournament. And that was the first time in quite some time, breaking a streak of 15 straight appearances.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. This year, the NCAA tournament is expanding from 44 teams to 56. As Manats makes a nice defensive play there. So what happens is the second team in the NJAC should be able to go to the tournament. Wow, that's a bad back pass that time by Dominiak.
Feed to the middle, and Rowan able to knock it away. Johnny on the spot there for Rowan was Brian Deutsch.
You could go half a season and not see Dominiak make a pass like that toward the center of the field.
Well, again, that's indicative of it being early in the season, I think.
Number 11, Dwayne Reevy.
Well, this is Dwayne Reevy, who didn't play last night, who was so strong in Costa Rica at number 11, and the young man that Dan Gilmore thinks is one of the real keys to this season this year.
Reevy out of Rumson Fairhaven. And Mark, of course, you know the hometown. Who lives in Rumson, don't you?
You'll have to tell me.
Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, is that right? Reevy last year with 4 goals.
No turn.
But he brings a bit of explosiveness that they can look for.
Sent to the middle, little flick. Dominiak settles, feeds, looks for Reevy. Reevy a little banged up, the high ankle sprain, and just tremendous speed.
I'll tell you what, there was almost a handball there by Dominiak in the box that time. Rowan a little unsettled in the back right now.
Well, you know, Dan Gilmore said my front 6 are excellent. And that's really the key to this team, his front 6. They really need to produce. A volley by Martinelli, and Corvey watches.
Keep in mind, Martinelli's left-footed. That was with his right foot. That's pretty explosive from that area. I still think that as talented as Martinelli is, that you could see a little bit of drop-off tonight because he's got that knee injury. Dan wasn't sure he was going to even start him tonight. He's moved pretty well, but not like you're used to seeing him.
Reevy, we mentioned before, a little banged up, the high ankle sprain. He's a junior. He scored 20 goals his freshman season, so that gives you some indication of his explosiveness.
He fought some injuries, and well, he's tall. He's 6'4", so he'll kill you in the air.
And his speed is remarkable. Here comes Rowan out of the back, feed, looking for Reevy. And again, this is where you see the home run ball and you allow Reevy to run onto it, but double teamed in the back by the Bombers.
And Corvey got off his line very quickly.
Misplayed, and now Ithaca being defended in the back. Ithaca, and knocked away. It'll be Bombers ball. That's Kurt Odenbach who was fighting for it.
You know, Corby drop kicked that. I've always felt you have better control. He actually drop kicked it to a teammate. I think you have much better control with a drop kick than you do with a regular punt.
Now, we mentioned before, Mark, in the open that this Ithaca team is relatively young, and Coach Gilmore said that it's really critical for them to score early. Otherwise, there's a question about confidence. So Ithaca now starting to kind of gel here, and they would love to bang one home.
Well, what I've seen of Ithaca is because, as you know, Rowan will always give you a physical game, and Ithaca hasn't backed off at all.
I think the NJAC in general probably one of the most physical conferences in the country. It's just a different style. It's almost like in the NBA, Mark, you being an expert in the NBA, the West Coast typically not thought of as physical as the East Coast, although I think it's starting to change subtly now.
A little, but you're right. Yeah, they're very, very physical conference, the NJAC.
Rowan looking to set things up, and here's Martinelli. Martinelli with that left foot you mentioned before, and coming onto it and feeding down the wing, it's Deutsch.
See, that was an excellent pass by Martinelli. Rowan has been making too many passes up the field that have just been errant passes. There, that time he found Deutsch on the side and just spread the whole field out.
By the way, today was the opener for the Rowan University football team as well. They were successful, defeating Christopher Newport 21-14. So again, one of the premier programs in New Jersey, perhaps nationally.
Absolutely.
The Rowan University football team off to another successful start. Here's Deutsch. Deutsch will look to cut it back. Defended and stolen by the Bombers. To the wing, nobody home but Dominiak. Dominiak settles, flicks forward, and rushing onto it, Corvey. Reevy on the doorstep, but not before Corvey will punt it away. And again, that impressive right foot of Corvey. Right on to Odenbach. Odenbach looks to break down the defense, cuts inside, looks to go left foot. Coming up from the back, it's Ithaca, and a nice sliding tackle there by Rowan, and they'll turn and transition. Looking for Reevy, but stolen in the back by Steve Bell. Here comes Bell across the midline.
Rob, that's a great job by Gannon, number 23 for Rowan.
Shot on Clemente. So perhaps the best opportunity there is a bullet from Ryan Cole.
Tell you right now in the first half, Ryan Cole has been the best player for Ithaca.
You know, we talked about Reevy before, Mark, and one of the concerns, of course, is you have to get Reevy some time to get his conditioning work in, but yet you have to be concerned about that high ankle, and he's someone that you definitely want come October, November.
Well, the same's the case for Martinelli, too, with that knee injury. You want him ready for September 17th when the NJAC schedule comes, but you also want these guys, they've got to have some level of fitness.
To the wing. Here comes Ithaca. Left foot to the middle, and Dominiak staying home and feeding. Little give and go from Martinelli, and now Rowan will look to get it out of their end with just under 16 minutes remaining.
See, some people have to go to the ball. No one's going to the ball. They're not giving them any kind of a target there.
Good switch here. Rowan now starting to use all of the field, something that you are always a proponent of, Mark.
But you can't be a stationary target. Now, see, someone has to go to the ball. No one's there to Manatch. And see, well, he lost it. There's a foul. And actually got fouled on that play, and he was fortunate that time. But again, when someone has it, someone has to cut into open space, Rob. There's a lot of standing around. Going to the far post this time.
Dominiak in swinger, sliding play by Reevy. Just not enough on it, but again, you see the elusiveness of Reevy.
That's a great job by Dominiak that time because he didn't put it too close to the goal. Gave Reevy a chance to run under it, and he almost did. Here comes Garrison, 29. I really like the kind of pep that he gives his team off the bench. He's open if they can see him now.
To the middle, a little flick. Stolen away, very sloppy. Ithaca with numbers. Coming on, and a long shot and an ill-advised shot as Ithaca's Sean Nye, just a sophomore, had a man on the wing, could have had a nice little feed there to Tom Nevinger. But again, Nye, a sophomore, illustrating some of his inexperience.
Well, what Ithaca had was only 3 men in the attack. They've got to get more of the midfielders coming up and helping out attack-wise. They've been at a numbers disadvantage most of the time. Looked like they started out the game with a 4-man line. Obviously, people have been dropping back. See, now someone has to run to that ball that time.
To the middle. And again, Rowan on the transition.
This
Here
is
comes
when
Garrison.
This is when you should switch fields. There's too much going to this left side. Garrison lucky still with the throw.
Switching sides. And a little flick.
It's funny, Rowan outside backs will do that a lot, Rob. Go from one side to the other to each other.
Ithaca, again, outnumbered.
Good no call that time.
And a blind pass will be stolen. Manatch switches.
Now see, you've got to go to that ball a little bit quicker. Rowan a couple times has waited for the pass instead of going to it, and Ithaca's been able to steal it.
To the wing. To the middle now. Headed. Reeve with the size, headed back to the keeper. Nicely done by Ithaca.
Now again, for people that don't know, Ithaca headed that back to the keeper. You can't pass it back, but the head back there, good play that time.
Again now, Ithaca clearly outnumbered in the offensive end.
That's a great job that time by Garrison. He ran over the ball, didn't obstruct it, let it go out of bounds off Ithaca.
Manatch looks to find Reeve. Reeve, a nice little flick looking for Garrison. Instead, it's going to be Ithaca who just blindly sends it into the Rowan defensive end. And that will be a throw-in for Rowan's Mike Hall.
That's a good job by Hall. He thought about trapping it that time, but realized he had an Ithaca player on him, so decided to let it go out of bounds.
To the middle again, Ithaca trying to just take advantage of some sloppy play in the back by Rowan. Instead, Rowan able to steal it away, and Ithaca coming through out to the side, and we're going to have a whistle. It will be Ithaca ball.
Well, it was a foul on Deutsch. He had number 28. He initially made a good play in breaking up what could have been something very dangerous on that left flank for Ithaca, but then he got a little too aggressive at the foul. Now again, this is a little too far out probably to shoot the ball. Yep.
Feeding it to the wing, to the middle now. A little flick inside, dangerous shot. Clemente knocks it away. Good opportunity by Sean Nye, and again, you see the athleticism of Clemente.
Well, Clemente did a great job getting the angle that time, but how about Nye, who had the Miniac on him that time and had the presence of mind to get that shot off.
They'll get 15, someone.
Corner kick for Ithaca. Send it up top. Unable to settle to the wing. Ithaca now to the middle. Good opportunity, but it's offsides. Ithaca had a nice little play set up there, but Rowan trapped, causing the offsides.
Actually, it wasn't the man with the ball, but Nye was actually behind him offsides, number 21 for Ithaca.
Again, stolen out of the back. Here comes Ithaca with numbers 3-on-2 to the middle. Reef bound, knocked up, off the post, off the crossbar. Again, that defensive Rowan continuing to break down, and Ithaca powdering Clemente.
That was Chris Holden that time with a rocket off the crossbar. Oh, it's getting a little chippy, isn't it?
Sure is. Inside of 10 minutes now, we are scoreless. Rowan bring forward the offense, and Ithaca will pack it in at the top of the box.
Brian Way, who on the ball here, very, very accurate.
Left footer looking for Martinelli, heads to the middle, bicycle kick to Miniac, and
I think they called a dangerous play on Dominiak that time.
Miniac having words with one of the bombers.
Dominiak got that foot up pretty high that time.
Garrison, flick to the middle, coming from the back. A good run here by Ithaca. Ithaca trying to get through that defense, and now finally a whistle. As holding on to the jersey was Du Bois, or excuse me, that was actually Lockhart. And right now, Rowan, little out of sorts. Quick sliding tackle here, and Reeve will wait and react from the back.
See, that one could have been settled again. You lose possession when you do things like that. There were 4 blue shirts around, and Ithaca didn't settle.
Garrison feeds to the wing. Rowan to the middle, looking for Reeve. And it's Ithaca who sends it out. From the back, Rowan will look to settle. Little push, play on. And from the back now, Martinelli. Martinelli will feed. And Rowan will look to set things up again.
Excuse me, Rob. There were about 8 blue shirts there. They tried an offside trap, and it worked that time. There were about 8 blue shirts within about a 15-yard radius that time. Everything really bunched together, and you could tell Reeve doesn't quite have the explosiveness. That doesn't mean he can't take one in and score. You almost see him limping a little bit.
Ever
out
so
there.
slightly
Yeah.
favoring the one leg.
Mm-hmm.
Ball to the middle. Hall traps, feeds. Here comes Rowan, looking for Reeve. Reeve, that long stride. Reeve with the left foot, shot on. Corvey knocks it away. Corvey with the save. Good opportunity and a nice shot by Reeve.
Outstanding feed by Brian Way that time to Reeve too.
Number 30, Greg Slenovic.
Craig Slenovic, the sophomore, number 30 for Rowan, into the game now, Rob. He came in late last night, scored a late goal, but really showed that he can do a little offensive damage out there. He wasn't afraid of taking on defenders. It'll be interesting to see how he does out here tonight.
Here's Hall. Flicks, knocked away.
You know, that last play showed the explosiveness of Reeve, who we both said probably isn't 100%, but still was able to get a shot like that off.
And Dominiak knocks it in. Corvey handles. Approaching the 6-minute mark now in a scoreless game here. Part of the 2005 Rowan University Invitational. St. Joseph's defeated Delaware Valley earlier tonight. Both of these teams had beaten St. Joseph's and Rowan, or Delaware Valley. The previous night it was Rowan 7-1 over Delaware Valley. We mentioned before 7 different goal scorers for Rowan University, and an impressive outing for the Rowan Profs, as the goals came from Menach, Lodge, McMullen, Dominiak, Gannon, Garrison, and Slanovic. Here comes Ithaca. 5:15 left in this first half. Ithaca shut out St. Joseph's last night, and St. Joseph only able to muster 1 shot the entire evening. Referee having a discussion here with Tom Gannon. Gannon out of Monsignor Donovan, Tom's River product.
Yeah, one player we have not seen tonight, he didn't play last night, he's been banged up for Rowan, the stopper, Andrew Bergman. He's another guy that, you know, they can get him healthy. It's going to be just another weapon, a youngster from Cherry Hill West.
Long ball in the middle, and Clemente able to come on to it. Now with 4:15 left in this first half.
And the other thing is, there's a freshman named Stephen O from Cherokee who Dan Gilmore very high on. And again, he's been out with an ankle problem. So once this team gets healthy, and if they can get healthy by that mid-September to early October mark, this is going to be a very, I mean, they're a good team as it is. It's just going to have a lot more depth.
Ithaca looks to feed to the wing, defending for Rowan, Nick Golden.
Tell you, that was another accurate pass by Dave Corvey, the keeper. He's really starting the offense a lot, that time with a throw.
Nice little play there by Sam Oliver for Ithaca. And again, just able to illustrate some patience, oh so important, despite the pressure.
If Dominiak didn't make that play that time, Ithaca had number 21, Sean Nye, streaking in, and he would have had a breakaway. So Dominiak doing a nice job there on the spot.
We saw Nye very dangerous earlier. Had a good opportunity against Clemente. Down to the 3-minute mark now. Ithaca able to take it away, feed, and go to the offensive end, to the middle, and now to the wing. Rowan really dominated this first half early, and now it's been pretty much Ithaca in the box, unable to handle.
Everything bunched in the middle, really, for both teams right now.
Here comes Deutsch. He'll look to go back. Send it to Clemente. He'll have to settle. Unable to touch with his hands there. And it's taken away. Dan Gilmore must not be pleased with what he's seen over these last 20 minutes.
No, I would think he'll have a thing or two to say at halftime to this team. Again, I would always play Martinelli's to his left. He can go to his right, but he just loves taking that ball to the left, and he's so effective.
To the wing, looking for Reevy, and offsides.
Wow, now they called him offsides that time, but I thought the defenders on the far side were behind him. Interesting. One thing you're seeing from Ithaca is the fact that they're using that offside trap a lot. Yeah, that was Reevy. That's almost a cautionable play. He did not really go after the ball, went after the man that time. Got to watch that.
Just a minute left in this first half. We are scoreless. It's going to be Steve Bell for Ithaca who will send it away. Just waiting for his offense to get set as time continues to expire, down to 45 seconds. Long ball, it's going to be Dominiak who will send it right up the middle looking for Reevy. Reevy. And now, nice little play here. Rowan on the offense. Golden, and able to track it down is Hale.
Steps, go!
Inside of 12 seconds.
10, 9,
Physical play there.
7,
And getting the worst of it was Rowan.
5, 4,
Looking for the call for Rowan
2, 1.
was Greg Stanovic, but nothing called. He's bent over in pain, and that will end things here in the first half. Well, it's kind of a tale of two first halves, if you will. The first half of the first half, it was all Rowan, and then it became all Ithaca. So each team will look to regroup and improve upon that. We'll come back after the break, and we'll have second half action here from Glassboro, New Jersey, the home of the Rowan Invitational Soccer Tournament. Welcome back to Rowan University. Just underway, the second half. It's the Ithaca Bombers and the Rowan University Profs in the Rowan Invitational. Ithaca picking up right where they left off, right on the doorstep of the Profs. First half, relatively even, although Ithaca really putting on pressure at this latter part of the first half. And after the talk from Dan Gilmore, see if that has any impact on this Prof soccer team. The Profs defeated Delaware Valley College 7-1, and Ithaca defeating St. Joseph's 3-0. Now, the women of the Profs defeated Delaware Valley College today 4-0. So they are now 2-0 on the season. They defeated Goucher College in their opener. So both of these programs off to very good starts. And of course, with the female Profs, the women Profs off to a 2-0 start. One thing that we'd be remiss in mentioning is that the Profs came away with a pretty good transfer, Mark, this season.
Are you talking about Jamie Weiss?
I am.
Yeah, a tremendous player from Lenape, played for Ann Clifton at Villanova, and now is with Rowan. Rob, couple things. First of all, the keeper in the first half, there was a program mix-up, was Eric Ferguson. He's out now. Andy Wilhelm's in for Ithaca. Ferguson was the one with the big foot.
Now, should this go overtime, they'll have two 10-minute halves. I know our director, Stan Ritter, excited about the prospect of an overtime. I love overtime. You know that from our All-Star game.
Golden goal, though.
I can't get enough. It should just go on forever.
Well, I'll tell you, what Ithaca's done is they've bunched up the middle. Look, it's very, very hard to attack this way. And if you're Rowan, you're going to have to work from the outside in, I think, here in the second half as they're going down that left flank right now. Because Ithaca has just bunched everything up. There's just too much congestion almost in the middle of the field. See how Rowan's trying to spread it out here, Rob?
Well, again, Ithaca having the better of it here early in the second half. Mark was ready once again. Those cat-like reflexes. Feed in the middle. Dominiak stays home and quickly distributes. Here comes Rowan on the breakout. Long ball and running onto it. Ithaca, that's number 19. For Ithaca.
Well, this is going to be a long, long throw-in from Michael Lodge. He has a tremendous throw for Rowan, so this is almost like a corner kick opportunity, Rob. We talked about how good Rowan is in the air.
Well, we mentioned it was 19. That was Steve Bell for Ithaca. He made a mistake. I don't think he realized that he had someone on his heels.
Wow, that time Lodge didn't try to go all the way in. He tried to hit someone near the 18, and the problem was it was in a blue jersey.
Feed in the middle, shot on and saved. How's that for your first opportunity? Andy Wilhelm, just a freshman out of Ellicott City, Maryland.
Manatch that time with a bullet.
And just a little bit too much footwork here for Ithaca. Rowan comes away with the steal to the middle, looking to distribute, having some difficulty, and now Ithaca steals it away from Brian Way. To the middle. Feed. Good ball. Looking for Kurt Odenbach. Odenbach in the box, slide tackle. Nicely done. And taken away now by Deutsch to Martinelli.
Great job by Deutsch. You know, you always hold your breath when you slide like that inside the box, but that was perfectly clean, went for the ball.
Handball, nothing called. In the box. And again, Rowan having difficulty, Doug Johnson.
I think one thing that the Rowan will work on as the season goes on is there's been some, I would call a communication problem in the back these first two nights. And again, that's why you play these tournaments and get ready for your conference schedule. But a little more communication needed back there.
I think that's due in part to Clemente, the goalkeeper. That's an area that Coach Gilmore kind of signaled that he needs to improve upon. And again, as a junior, I think you're probably going to see progression in that area.
But I mean, even among the defenders, there's been a lot of errant passes that we've seen.
A little flick. Dominiak sends it forward, and nobody there but Bombers. Running onto it. Lockhart to the middle. Martinelli using that size. Now Dominiak will hustle over. Dominiak out of Lenape High School, always a power in South Jersey. Out of that tough Olympic conference. Probably better known for their female program. Deutsch. Breaks down one. Bomber. Feed. Out to the middle, Martinelli. Martinelli. Nice feed onto the wing. Trying to rush onto it. It's Goldsworthy. Goldsworthy to the middle. Flicked out by the Bombers, and here comes Ithaca. Ithaca will turn and go. Sent out to the wing, Dubois. Dubois works against Deutsch and sends it forward. Instead, Dominiak back heel.
That's
beautiful.
A great heel.
To Deutsch.
Nice job by Brian Way there, too, keeping possession that time.
And nice little field from Deutsch to Martinelli. Martinelli breaks it back in with that powerful left foot. And a nice little slide tackle there by Steve Bell. That's a great play by Bell. Here's Dubois. And not quite sure where Dubois was going, but it's going to be Dominiak who will work against Ithaca's Bell. And that's knocked out. Excuse me, that's Jeffries.
Martinelli off the ball gave a shot to Brian Lockhart, number 16 for Ithaca. There were a few words exchanged by Lockhart that time. I think he'll remember that one. Wait, there's Jeffries. We have not seen a whole lot of him, other than a couple of those good touches that he had early on in the game. But I'll tell you, you could see he's dangerous. The way he's able to turn on a ball. And we're seeing Reevy a lot earlier this half than we saw him in the first half. I think Rowan realizes that, because Reevy did give them a couple of really nice runs, and I think that they, even at less than 100%, need the kind of offensive explosiveness that he can still offer.
I tell you what, Deutsch having a heck of a time back there. Gave it away, and then ill-advised tackle, sent it out of bounds. Very lucky that Ithaca didn't come away with a better opportunity. Now Ithaca from the back again. Very young Ithaca team. Kyle Curacia has checked into the game for Ithaca, the freshman out of Syosset, New York.
You better not mess around with it too much in the middle there. That is a very dangerous situation.
Shot on, tipped away by Clemente. Just enough to deflect that over the crossbar.
I'll tell you what, Rob, I know Coach Gilmore does not like his defenders kicking the ball into the center of the field where it can be intercepted that way.
Well, as you mentioned, as you were talking, Gilmore literally had his eyes to the sky, hands on the head, shaking his head. And again, Rowan escapes. There you see the veteran coach, Dan Gilmore, in his 30th season. In swinger, and Clemente using that size and great hands to come away with it. He'll quickly feed to the wing, and now Rowan will break out.
That was great hands, as you described it, Rob, because he caught it high and was able to keep his hands high and hold the ball. Didn't have to bring it down at all.
Michael Lodge, a nice throw in down to the sideline, and rushing onto it, it's Goldsworthy. Again, it's Lodge, and you mentioned powerful throw-in ability of Lodge, but instead They'll allow Deutsch to take care of it.
Well, he can get a good heave on it too. Remember the last time they were in this area, Lodge actually threw it into around the 18. They didn't really go towards the goal.
Deutsch throws it in, looking for Reeve. He heads it up, headed on, crossbar. Great opportunity once again as Martinelli tried to get it past Wilhelm.
Yeah, so many times it's the second header off a set play like that, and that's what it was. Reeve that time over to the far post. Martinelli in very good position.
Wilhelm to the midfield. Flicked, rushing on. Rowan will look to defend. Martinelli turns, settles, feeds. Looking for Reeve. Reeve, but a nice read there by Wilhelm. He's done a nice job here, and he's been tested early. We mentioned just a freshman out of Ellicott City, Maryland, listed at 6 feet.
Steve Bell, number 19, had the mark on Reeve, and what Ithaca wants to do is you want to get a defender behind him because of how dangerous Reeve is.
Well, there you saw a rare occurrence. Jeffries with the ball. Rowan has done a good job of really shutting him down. He has the ball now, and he'll look to throw it in. Top of the box. And knocked down. And this will go against Rowan. That was Chris Holden. Knocked off the ball. We mentioned this was a young team. Holden, a junior out of Herndon, Virginia, so one of the senior players on this team.
And Holden's, I thought, sold the call. I don't think Martinelli got him that much, but Holden really sold the call that time. You give him credit. Flew in the air. See, I don't think you're going to beat Rowan going long ball here. I don't know. I mean, you have, again, number 14, Ryan Cole, sneaking around that far post.
To the middle, headed away, and unable to hold on, or settle, I should say, was Woodworth. That was a good opportunity for Woodworth. To the middle, flick, head, shot, and Clemente, I believe, just got a piece of that, or maybe not.
You know, we talked about how dangerous Jeffries, number 17, is. There it goes. He actually split himself between two defenders, got his head in there, and just headed it wide.
Well, Clemente seemed like he had enough of that corner covered. But again, as you mentioned, so dangerous is Jeffries. Rowan battles, coming away with it. Way, and collision.
Well, that's a good job by Brian Way. Of course, Brian played at Middle Township, and he was really trapped in that area, got himself out of it, and forced the foul.
Garrison. And he'll feed, and it's going to be Wilhelm.
Tell you, Wilhelm took a chance that time. He was able to now get the goal kick, but he tried to let the ball go, and Rowan came very close to getting that.
Very close to an obstruction as well. Just got a piece of that Rowan player. Ithaca looking to settle, unable to do so.
I just think that they ought to try shorter goal kicks, more passes off of them, because they're just kicking it in the middle of the field, hoping one of their players gets it, and that's usually hasn't been the case.
Approaching the 30-minute mark remaining in this game. Ithaca 1-0 on the season against Rowan, also 1-0.
You get the feeling that Rowan has picked up the pace a little bit here, though.
Absolutely. A lot of room here as Ithaca really packing it in. And Wilhelm will handle easily. Now again, we mentioned this being Division III soccer. Let's talk a little bit about Division III, the preseason rankings. Messiah has become truly a powerhouse in Division III soccer. And once again, they are ranked #1. Wilhelm kind of selling that call as Reeve came on to him. But Messiah won the national championship last year quite easily. And ranked 2, UC Santa Cruz. Mark, here's your trivia question of the day. UC Santa Cruz, it's a two-parter. What is their team nickname? And in what movie was a UC Santa Cruz t-shirt prominently worn?
I don't know. I'll say the Aztecs.
It's the Slugs.
Wouldn't have guessed that in a million
And
tries.
it was John Travolta in Pulp Fiction. Got to get a sponsor for our trivia question, Mark.
By the way, Steve Bell, number 19, and Reeve, number 11, have exchanged a few unpleasantries. That little matchup's getting a little physical between those two.
We'll round out some of the preseason rankings. You got Suni Geneseo out of New York. Williams, Massachusetts is ranked 5. Gustavus Adolphus out of Minnesota, ranked 6th. Stevens Tech, a New Jersey school, ranked 7th. Trinity out of Texas is 8th. Also Wartburg tied for 8th. And rounding out the top 10, Richard Stockton, of course, the preseason favorite here in the NJAC.
I can't remember a year Rowan wasn't in a preseason top 25. It's pretty astounding. And Coach Gilmore thinks it's because, you know, they didn't get in the tournament last year. And
the other local school ranked in the top 25 is Arcadia, Pennsylvania, unless, of course, you include Elizabethtown out of central Pennsylvania.
By the way, Rob, we talked about this before. Because of the expanded tournament now, at least the second NJAC team will get in. Dominiac did push. That's a good call that time. I really think 3 teams from this conference should go. You can't tell me the 3rd best team in this conference isn't better than a lot of those conferences that get automatic bids around the country. And I think it's a bad job by the NCAA. They've given so many automatic bids. And I don't think if taken in strength of schedule, strength of league, I think at least this year you'll get 2 NJAC teams. But you can't tell me every year that there aren't 3 teams in the New Jersey Athletic Conference that are among the top, whether it's 44 or 56 in the country. It's
Mark, I would agree with you. However, the likelihood is that there's probably that same argument coming from one of our colleagues somewhere in Minnesota, per se. You know, I agree with you. I think the NJAC has historically proven to be a power.
The NJAC teams have clocked certain teams from different regions. And it doesn't matter because they get automatic bids, and I don't know. I do applaud them for expanding the field from 44 to 56. Wouldn't mind seeing 64 there, and then
just seems to make more sense to have 64 really.
This is what's Rowan has hurt itself with some errant passes in the back tonight. One thing Rowan has done well, remember how everything was so bunched early in the second half? They've been able to spread things out a little bit.
See a little bit of more crisp passing there from the Ithaca team, and now the long ball for Reeve. Reeve showing that speed, flicked up. Reeve will try to run onto it, and we'll see if it's a corner.
Well, you called that. You said flicked up, and Steve Bell, number 19, if he did not get that flick and flick that ball, Reeve was off to the races.
It will, in fact, be a corner kick here for the Profs. You can see the clock ticking away in the background, down to 25-35. And the corner will be taken here, and it looks like Menach. Dominiac heads inside Wilhelm and onto it. You know, you have to give Coach Burns some credit here. He's not afraid to put Wilhelm in, the freshman, in a critical game here early in the season. And there's certainly a rivalry element when you talk about Byrne playing against his former college roommate.
Said Dan Gilmore was a scrappy forward, and that's how Dan coaches too.
Well, and you know, they always say that the team takes on the personality of the coach, so that's not a surprise. A lot of room here to operate for Rowan's Michael Lodge. To the middle, ill-advised pass, and Ithaca now will quickly distribute. Dubois running onto it. Dubois sends it forward, and now here comes Ithaca.
Wow, Jeffries made that pass, and I don't think his teammate, number 14, Ryan Cole, was expecting it right away. Good job running that ball down that time by number 19 for Rowan, Mike
Checking
Cole.
engagement for College. Number 2, Sigrid O. Number 7, Tom Nevinger. And number 21, Sean Nye. Checking in for the prop. Number 10, Robert McMullen. And number 18, Sean Doherty.
Well, one thing we've seen is Reevy's gone out of the game, Rob, but we've seen when he's in there how many more options he gives them with how he can run down balls, whether he's 100% or not. And he came very close to some big plays so far tonight. The only problem is when you get a guy like Reevy, you attempt to go for that big play all the time, you know, and instead of being a little more patient.
Here's some trouble inside the box and sent out to the wing. And it's going to be Ithaca to come and settle. And that is Ben Kaufman, just a freshman out of Portland, Oregon. Kaufman splits the defense. A nice little left foot to the middle. Garrison settles, looks to turn, still shields. Garrison working, Garrison looking, and now we'll send it back to Deutsch. Here's Lodge.
Good patience by Rowan. Nice
McMullen
one
and Garrison now with numbers. McMullen. And unable to beat the Ithaca defense. Nice little run though for Rowan.
Nice job by Brian Lockard, number 16 for Ithaca that time. McMullen one-on-one. Probably made his move a little too soon that time. Although, Rob, it's very easy up here to say all that.
Absolutely.
You don't have to get down there and go with these defenders and try to beat them, but.
Lodge with a bit of a mishit here will result in an Ithaca throw-in. Now, one of the things I'd like to talk about, Mark, is just this Rowan athletic program. I mean, just very impressive from top to bottom. Year in and year out, they just have so many programs that are not just successful locally, but nationally. I mean, we talked a little bit about the football program before. Of course, we've mentioned how successful this soccer program has been, and so many different programs, very successful
Baseball
here.
Went to the World Series.
Absolutely, and of course,
last couple years.
Yeah, a great job. Of course, Josh Schwartz, who was their star pitcher, now playing minor league baseball for the Johnson City Cardinals. This season is wrapped up.
Who did he play high school ball for?
I don't know.
Who was his coach there?
Not a very good one, from what I understand.
Rob's being modest. He was his high school coach at Gateway High School. Saw Juan Romero here, by the way, the new baseball coach is taking over, who was here before, and is taking over for John Cole, who went on to Penn.
He should have a successful season again this year. Rowan again. It's the old adage, they don't rebuild, they just retool.
Ooh, almost a handball that time by Lockard. Lockard has held up pretty well among some real pressure back there for Ithaca.
To the middle, and again, you can't say enough really about Dominiak because it's almost, he does his job so modestly.
One thing we haven't seen Dominiak do much is make that run that he's capable of doing. I would expect, we have a little over 20 minutes left here in the second half, I would expect Dominiak to time one of those runs and do that before too long.
Another area I think he's very successful with his corner kicks, just kind of taking care of business there, utilizing that height and size advantage. But Ithaca's done a good job in really limiting the opportunities for Rowan.
Into the game for Rowan, number 9, Brian Way. Also number 15, Peter Malcolm.
Not only limiting the opportunities for the corners, but also for those long throws that Rowan noted for. Here's Deutsch, who can heave it pretty far himself.
Throwing for Deutsch, a low bullet headed up, and here's Dominiak. Ithaca with numbers. Sends it forward, looking for Jeffries. Jeffries will run onto it, but this will allow Rowan to pack in the defense. Left foot to the middle. Clemente. So sure-handed is Clemente.
One thing I like about Jeffries is he doesn't mess around and back pass it and everything. He wants to go on goal all the time before, as you mentioned, Rowan got those numbers back.
Here's Garrison. Works to the wing against the O. All by himself, unable to settle. Good opportunity for Way.
Wow, if Brian Way, number 9 for Rowan, was able to make that trap, bring it down, and then take that shot, it would have been a very dangerous situation. Rob, that shows you the importance of being able to trap a ball, keep it close to your body, no matter how difficult. Well, it was a very difficult play that Way would have had.
That may be the one skill that really separates players at different levels. Would you agree with that, Mark?
I agree that the two things are whether you can trap a ball no matter where and whether you can break down a defender. And if you can do those two things, you can have a good future in this game.
Whistle blows. Rowan, possession.
And we have to say, Martinelli had that knee injury from last night, and I don't think he's been off the field tonight.
No.
And he may not be moving at 100%, but he's given them a very good presence, obviously.
Dominiak serves it into the box, headed up, Way. Here's Garrison.
If you notice, Rob, Rowan on most of its head balls, they never try to have the initial guy be the guy that scores. They try to hit a guy who tries to flick it to somebody else. They haven't tried to go right from the ball to someone's head to the goal. They flicked it to a teammate, and it's been pretty effective.
And now again, we talked about this before, now you see Dominiak in the middle of things, going to try to use that size.
Garrison, who's taking the corner, has pretty good accuracy here too.
This is an area where typically Reeve is successful. And Dominiak will try to rush onto it, and he'll feed it back to Garrison. Again to the middle.
See, they pulled that offside trap, but they were
good.
on.
Score! McMullen! Well, as you mentioned, they tried to pull the trap, but the trap pulled them, and McMullen beats Wilhelm. Rowan on top, 1-0.
I'll be honest, I think that Ithaca thought, oh, we pulled the trap, they'll be offsides, and they stopped moving. And McMullen was able to sneak in there. Kind of like last night when McMullen scored. He wasn't very far out. He's just an opportunistic guy that takes advantage of things.
And now Ithaca will look to put pressure on right away. McMullen, his second goal of the season in 2 games, a product of Northern Burlington High School. Nick Golden also out of Northern Burlington for this Rowan team.
Checking into the game for Rowan, number 3, Nick Golden.
Those two led the Greyhounds to a South Jersey Group 2 final one season.
Also checking in for Rowan, number 5, Sean Goldsworthy.
Well, this should certainly give a lift to this Rowan team. And again, it's a relatively young Ithaca team. And we'll see how they respond here. 16 minutes remain.
Tell you what, Ithaca is going to give those teams in that Empire 8 conference all they could handle. I'll tell you that much.
Before the snow starts to hit, which is usually about October 10th.
Ithaca is a big minor league baseball town, isn't it?
I don't know if they have a minor league team there. I know that typically you have the New York Penn League, a lot of teams up in that area.
Mm-hmm.
I know we took our team up to Oneonta the one year. They have a New York Penn team up that way. from the back. And looking for the offsides, nothing doing. Du Bois, a little flick inside.
I would turn and shoot right now. See, he just waited too long. That was number 15 Holden. And
oh, a handball there.
it's right around the 18, Rob. You're in a situation, you're down by a goal. Again, you can't fool around with the ball too much because these Rowan defenders will converge on you.
Ithaca's had some opportunities tonight, and Clemente has been more than up to them. Very impressed with Clemente.
Remember in the first half, Holden hit that crossbar, probably their best chance.
Punched out by Clemente. Martinelli, again, with great poise.
That was a great job by Clemente because he had Jeffries right there, and he literally had to jump over him to punch it out.
Trying to work through two defenders, and the whistle blows. We'll see how this one goes. It will go Rowan's way. And again, I mentioned before about Martinelli's poise, his composure. That's what you see from the great players. Everything slows down for them.
Right, they don't have to rush. And
headed forward.
And again, he can make the pass off of one touch as well as anybody I've seen.
Thought we're going to have another opportunity up there for you, Mark. I'm not sure if the ball landed on our table tonight that it could withstand that momentum.
I think it would break the table. They just call it a foul throw. You don't see that very often. Tell you what, some of these young players though, Rob, really impressive. Number 14, Ryan Cole, sophomore. We talked about Holden, who's a junior. There's some pretty good talent on this Ithaca team.
And conversely, Dan Gilmore really felt that he has an extraordinarily deep team this year.
When healthy.
When healthy.
Right.
But even so, that depth helps, of course, when you're injured. Certainly there's going to be a drop-off when you don't have someone like Reeve or Martinelli, but with that depth, it just hurts a little less. And there you see Wilhelm.
Think about if you can get those two back to 100% and really clicking. You're right. This is going to be a team that's going to cause a lot of problems to teams in the New Jersey Athletic Conference.
He feels that this will be one of the best teams in the country if they can get healthy. He really likes this team. To the middle, score! Great feed inside, knocked home by Ryan Cole. Ithaca answers.
We talked about Jeffries. It was Jeffries that made the cross, made the play, and again, doesn't waste very much time when he gets it. He's always in the attack mode.
Well, you mentioned before just how successful and how potent Cole has been tonight. Just a sophomore out of Liverpool, New York. And there you see it.
Number 14, Ryan Cole.
Ithaca heads it towards the middle. A little flick, nobody there but Rowan. That's Peter Malcolmus out of Brick. Well, we mentioned that Ithaca's a young team. We'll see how they answered. Well, it didn't take long.
It was just Jeffries getting the ball going right toward goal, not letting defenders get to him, making the cross. As you mentioned, Cole putting the finishing touches.
A deflection. And it looks like we're going to have a corner. So again, a good opportunity. Dominiak will hustle down. And Rowan will look to take advantage here as we approach the 11-minute mark remaining in this second half. And now you'll see Reeve come on. This was something I was a little surprised last time they didn't substitute and get Reeve in this situation.
The only detriment to this is the fact that you allow Ithaca to set up the defense, but you also get Garrison now to take the corner. He just came in the game. I think he has outstanding accuracy on these corner kicks.
There again, looking towards the middle, a bit too far in the box.
Yeah, that one a little too far.
And Malcolmus doing a good job to shield, and he'll have the throw in. Headed forward, nobody there but Wilhelm.
Coach John Ernest, his high school coach at Cumberland, has to be proud when you see what Garrison's doing. They also have a young man named Asa Anderson, who's in his first year with the Rowan program, that I saw a lot in high school, and Dan Gilmore thinks is going to be a very good player.
Du Bois and Deutsch handles. Du Bois sent it right to Deutsch. Deutsch, nice little move to cut it back, but stolen away. Ithaca looking to the sideline, unable to control, was Holden. Throw in. Here's Martinelli. Martinelli gets a bump. Martinelli shields nicely. Martinelli breaking down defenders and tried to sell that call, unable to do so. And now I think you're going to see the game get a little bit more physical.
Pretty hard to get more physical than it's been, though, don't you think?
Well, I tell you, I've seen some Rowan soccer. It can get pretty physical down here, particularly when you watch and play someone like Richard Stockton. We did a game a few years back. I'm not sure if you were with me, Mark, but that was maybe the most physical soccer game I had ever seen.
That has become one of the most intense rivalries. Jeff Haynes has done a great job with that Stockton program. Remember winning the national championship a number of years ago? Getting to the tournament again last year.
And it will be Rowan possession here. 8:45 and counting. We are tied at 1. McMullen for Rowan. Cole for Ithaca. Whistle blows.
Yep, that's a good call. Reevy pushed off that time to try to get the advantage.
Well, it's a beautiful night for soccer, Mark, so conditioning should not be as much of an issue.
And again, Rowan took that trip to Costa Rica where it played 4 basically professional club teams, and
shot on, and that'll miss its mark. That was Lodge. Well, it was funny because we talked to Coach Gilmore about his trip to Costa Rica, and he said, first of all, great competition there, no question about there. And you know, one of the things that I think is always underestimated is team chemistry on any team. And he said this allows the team to bond. It allows them during downtime to truly get to know one another. And he said, thirdly, really exposes kids to a different culture, and it's an educational experience. And I asked him, I said, you know, do you have any collateral benefits whereby you have kids from then Costa Rica interested in Rowan? He said, absolutely. I've already had a kid contact me from Costa Rica interested in the university. So, you know, I think no matter what the outcome, it's really all positive for Rowan.
the other thing they were exposed to was some very interesting officiating. Rowan was called for 7 penalty kicks in the 4 games.
Wow.
So guys on these club teams in Costa Rica would take dives and they'd get a PK called. So even though Rowan lost 3-1, 6-1, 4-0, and 1-0, a lot of those games were closer. In fact, the first game they lost 3-1, they were actually leading 1-0.
Well, Rowan, of course, last year losing to Richard Stockton in large part due to a PK, so maybe brought back some bad memories from the championship game, essentially, against Richard Stockton. They ended up losing 2-0, but it was 0-0 when the PK occurred. And, of course, once it's 1-0, you start to take chances late in the game.
And while we were not at the game by all, whoa, dangerous shot that time.
Looking to go far side. Left foot, good opportunity. And again, we mentioned how dangerous Jeffries is.
Jeffries hasn't had a lot of touches, although he's picked it up here in the second half, but he's made things happen. As I said, Rob, we weren't at that Stockton game, but by all accounts, that was not the best of calls, that PK.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I don't know, I don't recall, but I just remember hearing about the game and hearing just that very item that it was questionable at best. Headed on, score, Reeve. Reeve off the feed, I believe, from Malcolm.
It was. Malcolm did an outstanding job crossing that ball, and Reeve unmarked on that far post.
Give Reeve some credit. He didn't just head it right on. He found the corner. Wilhelm did not have a chance. Well, again, that kind of illustrates the importance of Reeve. Just having a nose for the ball and maybe a head for the ball too, Mark.
And how about Malcolm on the cross? We had hardly called his name, and he comes in and makes a big play like that.
All of a sudden, after a scoreless first half, we've had an offensive eruption. 3 goals in a short period of time, tripped up.
Now we're going to get a caution here. We're going to get a caution on number 16, Lockhart.
Time to go 5:26. Once again, goal scorer Dwayne Reeve. This is by number 15, Peter Malcolm. Time to go 5:26.
Any time that you do not go after the ball and you try to get the man, you're certainly going to get cautioned for it. Lockhart gets a yellow.
5 minutes now remaining. Rowan on top, 2-1. Long ball from Dominiak, headed forward, and coming on, it's Cole. Cole, the goal scorer for Ithaca, feeds to the wing, and Ithaca will look to rush on. And whistle, and Ithaca starting to illustrate some frustration. Slamming down the ball in disgust was Tom Nevinger, the senior out of Glenmont, New York.
Nevinger's lucky he didn't get a caution because he did it right in front of the referee.
Martinelli. And throwing up his hands, Lockhart. Again, we see some frustration here now with 4 minutes left, and now Ithaca will really have to push forward. Cole, top of the box, Cole. Working against Dominiak, and Dominiak wins.
That's a great play by Dominiak that time. Had him one-on-one. Was going to force him to the outside, but didn't need to as he took the ball off.
Long ball, trying to find Reeve. Wilhelm sends it away right up the middle, and Martinelli overruns the ball. And he got a break because inadvertently the referee shielded Holden. Otherwise, Holden would have gained possession. Du Bois. Deutsch. Deutsch sends it back for Dominiak.
Now, if you're Rowan, you gotta watch it. Some of these back passes, you can't be careless. We've seen it. We've seen it a couple of times tonight that some of these passes, there was some carelessness to them, and they lost the ball.
Whistle blows. We're going to have a yellow card here.
Well, Martinelli's been pushing off a couple of people tonight, and that time he got caught.
And Gilmore pleading his case. Down to 3:05. Ithaca. Long kick to no one in particular. Jeffries will try to settle, working against Dominiak. Knocked away. And
Jeffries did something that wasn't smart. He was angry, and he kicks the ball out toward the corner area. That was out of bounds. His team needs all the time it can get.
The clock is stopped now. .250 remaining. Ithaca heads it forward. Here's Du Bois. Du Bois to the middle. And Jeffries collides with Garrison. Headed back, here's Wilhelm. Wilhelm quickly distributes out to the wing, and Ithaca will look to transition. Down to 2:30 left. Headed away. from the back, stolen. Garrison, 2-on-1 with Reevy. Reevy. Now, Ithaca getting back on defense. Reevy with a little feed forward for Lodge. Lodge from the corner. Look to waste some time, try to operate, gain some room.
It's a goal.
And it looks like we'll have a throw in. And they're going to ask for the time to stop as they reposition the flag. 1:57 left. Rowan on top 2-1. McMullen and Reevy the goal scorers for the Profs. Cole your goal scorer for Ithaca. And now Ithaca will come away. You can see the clock ticking away in the background. To the wing. Rowan. And whistle here, a little push. It's the Bombers.
Yeah, that was on Oldenback, number 13. Wow.
Looks like a praying mantis there on top of Fred's camera. Fred's going to have a little boxing match. That'll come immediately following the Rowan Ithaca game.
Yeah, I'm just happy it's not on top of our suit jackets.
Down to 65 seconds. And Rowan, of course, will take their time.
Last minute of play in the second half, 1 minute.
And they'll send it up top, Martinelli. Martinelli with a lot of room to go backwards. Instead, will push forward. Martinelli on the wing, loses control of the ball. And it is ruled to be Rowan ball.
The other thing you have to watch is when you're trying to stall and waste time dribbling the ball like that, that's a time when you can get your legs chopped. So you almost have to watch it. Teams are frustrated. They come after you.
Wilhelm sends it. Headed, settled. Martinelli to the wing, down to 21 seconds. Du Bois working against Malcolmus. Du Bois will throw it in. To the wing and hustling on.
10, 9, 8.
This ball's in
7,
play.
6, 5.
And that'll do it, down to 3 seconds remaining. And Rowan comes away with an impressive 2-1 victory. A well-fought game here by both teams. Ithaca answering back from the goal by McMullen, but it was Reevy all alone to head it into the corner. And Rowan comes away from their invitational with the 2-0 mark.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rowan, we documented the injuries. Even the guys that played like Martinelli and Reevy who were less than 100%. What we saw here tonight is, again, if this team can get healthy, this is going to be a very dangerous NCAA tournament team, a dangerous team in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, and didn't always play its best. But still was able to beat a very good team.
Stick around. We'll have post-game interviews and a wrap-up right after this.
Prof would like to thank tonight's sponsor, Commerce Bank.
Rob Christ here with winning head coach Dan Gilmore. Rowan victorious 2-1 over the Ithaca Bombers in the championship game of the 2005 Rowan University Invitational. And coach, have to be happy with the performance tonight. Again, coming off the victory over Delaware Valley, a much tighter game, and it's always good to have a tight game to see how your team responds.
We're, I scheduled opponents to give us a good game, and I knew they would. They're well coached. They're physical. They're aggressive, and they beat us to a lot of balls. But I'm pretty happy with how our kids responded. I wanted to get them in a tough game early in the season. I think they're an NCAA tournament team, and so I'm pretty happy. I'm real happy how we came back after we blew a lead. I'm not real happy that we blew a lead with 12 minutes to go. We should know better than that. But that's inexperience. We're inexperienced in the back, and it showed a little bit tonight.
Well, you mentioned some of the play in the back, a few poor decisions, some breakdowns. Obviously, it's the early part of the season. That looks to be really the one area that you have to improve upon. What did you really like about your team's play tonight?
I like that. I thought the first half, I knew it was going to be ragged. I didn't think it would go the whole half. I thought the first half was just an up and down ragged game with both teams sort of like trying to get a knockout punch. And the second half, I thought we controlled the ball much better. I thought we swung it to the weak side. I thought we made good decisions where we got people up in the offense. We got a lot of good services. And I knew if we got services, we'd get scored. You know, we're a much, much bigger team than they are. So, you know, I knew if we got services, we'd finally get something going. And I thought that's what we did best. You know, I want us to improve defensively, but you know, hopefully we're a better team in October than we are now.
Well, it really had to be important, I would think, to go 2-0 in this tournament because you're away for 2 weeks after this, and then things get really tough when you start facing the NJAC.
Yeah, you don't want to ever lose on your home. You shouldn't lose on your home field. You know, you're supposed to defend your home turf, and when you go on the road, that's when you prove yourself. But yeah, it was a good test. It was a really good team, and you know, I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of how they fought back after they could have you know, tucked their heads and you know, but we came back with flying colors. You know, we came back and proved ourselves. So that made me happy.
Well, a lot of quality players on this team. We talked during the game about Martinelli and Clemente, very impressive in goal. Of course, McMullen with the first goal tonight. And Reevy with the game winner. Very impressive, quick, great size. I know you're happy to see him back in the fold, and our Marc Narducci's with him.
All right, thank you very much, Rob Quist. Dwayne Reevy, first of all, tell me this. You've been banged up. You got the high ankle sprain in Costa Rica. Your knee's bothering you. How are you feeling right now?
I'm just ready to get back in the training room, get some ice on my ankle and my knee, and then come back out to practice tomorrow.
You're not 100%, but yet you can contribute to this team. How good did it feel to get out there? I know you had to sit out last night.
Yeah, last night Coach sat me out for the game since we won 7-1 over Delaware Valley. Coming out tonight, I was very pumped up. I was excited all day. I had butterflies for the first time since freshman year, and when I got out there, I just wanted to give it my all and fight through the pain.
Talk about your goal, your game winner. It was a great cross you got.
Yeah, I just held my run, waited for Pete Malcolmus to cross the ball in and place it in. Just concentrate, make sure I didn't hit it over the net like Stockton last year.
Dwayne, not being 100%, but still you can obviously help this team. But how frustrating is it knowing that, you know, you could give that extra burst if you were 100%?
It definitely plays a toll on me, my ankle, but I just got to fight through it, and hopefully it'll get better middle of the season, and I'll be back to full form.
Hey, one last thing. When you get back, when everyone else gets back healthy, this is going to be a very dangerous Rowan team, it looks like.
Yes, we're on the road. We're going for the victory. We're going for it all. We're very excited coming from Costa Rica. We're looking forward to this season, and we're all very excited.
One last thing, great experience. I know you got hurt in Costa Rica, but talk about the experience.
Costa Rica was great. We got to play against great competition. Just our team got to bond, so it was a great trip overall.
Dwayne, congratulations. Go soak that ankle.
All right.
All right, Dwayne Reevy, who you saw how much the difference he made, how much flow they had to their offense, and how many times they looked for him, Rob, when he came in the game. He just adds another dimension.
Well, how many times do you see a player that has that great size, 6'4", and blazing speed? I mean, what a mix. You can't ask for more as a coach. Again, we talked about as a team, very impressive performance. Martinelli really controlled the middle.
He did, and again, like Reevy, he's banged up. We didn't see the full Martinelli that we did last night before he got injured, and still he had an outstanding game. You talked about the Miniac. We both did, controlling things in the back. And I think what Coach Gilmore said and what you had talked to him about, I think it's good that you have a close game this early in the season, see how you react. They came back, tie it 1-1. One other thing we have to say, and I agree with Coach Gilmore, that was an NCAA tournament team they just beat. That's a good Ithaca team.
A very good Ithaca team. He mentioned how young they were, but they certainly didn't play like a young team. Things get a little bit tough for Rowan now. They're on the road. They don't come back here again for another 2 weeks. They play up in a tournament up in Fredonia, New York, against one of the SUNY schools, which is typically a school that they will see in the NCAA. So things will be tough for the next couple of weeks, and then it's NJAC time.
Yeah, and that's never easy. You want to get in the top six. You want to get in that postseason tournament. Obviously, Rowan's going to be there, and I look for big things this year. I look for them to make amends and to get back to that tournament.
Well, one day, Mark, I want you to remember this date, October 28th. That's the last home game for Rowan. Who's it against? Richard Stockton. So don't be surprised that there's a lot on the line for that one. And again, great opportunity for you to see the skills of this Rowan team. I think it's going to come down to Stockton and Rowan once again.
I don't think there's any question about that. And don't be surprised if there are a few bumps and bruises after the game, too. It'll be a little physical.
There's no doubt about that. Well, once again, I want to thank you for joining us. Your final score was Rowan University defeating Ithaca 2-1 in the 2005 Rowan Invitational. For my partner, Marc Narducci, my director, Stan Ritter, I'm Rob Chris. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.